Has brought me a long way in my understanding of what a real relationship with him is, right? Believing God is greater than obeying God, right? Now I'm gonna clarify, I'm not gonna leave it at that. That'll create confusion. But pay attention to the language. When somebody says I'm obeying God, right? When you ask them about their relationship with the Father, right, and their terminology is I'm just trying to be obedient, right? I'm just trying to obey God. I'm just trying to please God, right? But their verbiage isn't not that their verbiage matters, but to get an idea, right, of where their mind is, right, and to evaluate where your mind is. If they don't use the word believe God, they're not really obeying God, right? Believing God is greater, because believing God it surpasses the place of obedience. It pleases him, right? It's the greatest command. You're loving God with all your heart, your soul, your might, and your strength, because you're completely surrendered to him, right? He has you. You don't see anything outside of him. There's nothing of greater value to God than somebody that is fully convinced in their heart that he is who he says he is, that he will do what he says he will do, right? Those are the people that see the power. Those see the blessings. Those people see the miracles. Those people see the provision. Those people get the answers from God that they need, right? People that think about it's all about they're stuck on the works, right? That those are the same people that they're looking to what they do to secure their salvation. Meaning they don't feel close to God or like they're saved or sanctified unless they can look at something that they have done. Unless they can evaluate something that they have done, they don't feel like they are in right standing with God, right? But you are in right standing with God through faith. To be righteous means to be in right standing, right? And it says we are clothed with the righteousness of Christ. But that's all through faith, right? That's all through understanding. That's why people can't perceive when somebody's being led by the Spirit, right? That just living in fear, because they're living in fear. They're held back. They're so focused on what not to do to make God angry, what they need to do to make him happy today. So you know what I'm saying? Like they look at somebody that's out there walking in their gifts, fully convinced that God led them and God led them to do this, right? God put this in them. God wants this done, right? People that are in tune with the Spirit and understand God's voice, they perceive God's voice. They don't understand that. They'll be like, oh, I bet he ain't eating clean. I bet he ain't keeping no Sabbath, right? I bet he ain't this. I bet he don't understand that. Oh, he still says God and Jesus instead of Yah, instead of Yahusha, right? In conclusion, there's no greater act of obeying God than believing God. We're supposed to hear God's voice. What God speaks to you is a commandment to you.